Mets pitching coach Rick Peterson heads to the mound in the 8th inning of a game against the Yanks and discovers his Korean pitcher can't speak English.
You would think that at some point, over the course of working with a pitcher, that you would know, just going to go out on a limb here, what language he speaks.
You've got a Korean pitcher on the mound who only speaks Korean. You've got a pitching coach in Rick Peterson who only speaks English or some version of it, trying to communicate to each other. You're watching the hand motions. You're watching the quizzical look. You're looking at Peterson looking around the infield, kind of going, does anyone speak Korean?
I've always wondered what goes on the mound during those mound conferences with guys who speak English, never mind guys who come from other countries. How do they communicate there? And I know Rick Peterson is a very erudite pitching coach, and it must have driven him nuts that he couldn't talk to his pitcher.
You would think with all the training and scouting and money that goes into professional sports, somebody would have invested in the Rosetta Stone.
Did he actually think that he could speak Korean? And it wasn't until he reached the rubber when he said, no, you know, I realize now I can't speak Korean. Didn't they have a contingency plan to somehow communicate with one of their pitchers in the 8th inning of a ball game?
He is a talker. He loves to elaborate on his feelings, and he loves to really give thorough answers on pitching. And I remember that moment sitting there and thinking about the fact that he's trying to communicate. He's trying to talk pitching, the one thing that Rick Peterson probably knows better than anything else in this world. And the guy listening to him doesn't understand a word he's saying.
Rick Peterson, who doesn't have a loss for words for anybody. I mean, the guy could sit there and talk for hours and hours. And he always drove me nuts with that warm-up jacket. Can you just go out there in your jersey for once? Middle of summer, Peterson's out there on the mound with his warm-up jacket.
You know, there's been guys who've spoken English as their second language around for the last 70 years or so, and you go out there and you say something, and usually what they do is nod. And nod kind of means that they can hear what you're saying. Nod doesn't necessarily mean they understand what you're saying.
U.S. Ambassador to Korea Dennis Rodman was unavailable to be the translator at this time.
Part of his problem as a communicator, although he communicated in beautiful prose, was that he was a very low talker. So even though Dae-sung Koo didn't understand him, there were many times that you could be standing 2 feet away from Rick and you couldn't understand him either.
Just the thought of what went on in that mound is like, it's like a Seinfeld moment, a Saturday Night Live moment.
So I always imagined it as this. Dae, can you throw a strike? Huh? Can you throw a strike? What?
It was classic Seinfeld, and even Peterson acknowledged it. I mean, the idea that you'd go out to the mound and you're not able to communicate with your pitcher, really? I mean, I remember him looking around the infield saying, anyone? Anybody speak Korean? No?
Remember, the Mets had a lot of other guys on that team that were from different countries, so nobody could have picked up some Korean? Come on.